what purpose does the gentleman from Ohio seek recognition?
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will designate the amendment.
Amendment number 7, printed in the congressional record, offered by Mr. Turner of Ohio.
Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, we must ensure that the men and women who bravely serve our country have access to affordable housing. My amendment seeks to make sure that conflicting government regulations do not pose an impediment to achieving this important goal. Currently, the VA requires a veteran's preference for housing built on VA property. However, HUD requires that HUD-assisted projects contain no preferences. These conflicting rules and regulations make it nearly impossible to help low-income senior veterans access affordable housing on VA property with HUD assistance. My amendment prohibits HUD from using funds to enforce the restriction against a veteran's preference for housing projects built on a VA campus or that use a VA enhanced use lease. The language is identical to an amendment I authored, which the House unanimously approved twice, and was included in H.R. 3288, the Fiscal Year 2010 Consolidated Appropriations Act. As a result, in my Southwest Ohio community, St. Mary Development Corporation is currently building housing for senior veterans on the campus of the Dayton VA, which will help provide veterans close access to the services they need. Mr. Chairman, this project can be a model that can be used across the country to help homeless veterans, provide low-income housing for veterans, and respond to the needs of seniors in the community. I urge all my colleagues to support this important amendment, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back his time. For what purpose does the gentleman from Iowa seek recognition?
To strike the last word.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
I would just like to lend my support for this amendment. It's something that clarification needs to be done. The rules need to work for veterans for these processes. This has been one of the hang-ups for veterans being able to get into assisted living or houses, and any backlog that there's been has been basically a bureaucratic backlog and rather than a funding issue in the past. So it's a good amendment, and I would urge its passage.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Massachusetts seek
Move
recognition?
to strike the last word.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Very briefly, I would just like to congratulate the gentleman from Ohio for being watchful of this sort of thing. This is the sort of thing that it seems to me ought to be really very logical, and I've supported it in the past, as he has already referenced, so happy to see that it's working in your community. And I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Ohio. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.